Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi-Noob.
I'm Envy Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay.
And I'm Kozi.
And we're back with more live-action anime adaptations from America. This week was Speed Racer from 2008, brought to you by the Wachowski siblings, who also brought us The Matrix and some other things that, well, mostly The Matrix. So, has anyone seen this before we did this one?
Nope.
No.
That seems to be about the consensus, because it's also failed horribly at the, well, not horribly, at the box office. It's made about 3/4 of its budget back.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, kind of, I think I read somewhere that the cast, like, immediately after filming was like, oh, we need to make a sequel, this was a lot of fun. And they were like, yeah, we're going to start writing right now. And then the box office came back and they're like, okay, this is not happening. But I think we've mentioned once or twice that this kind of got a cult following after the fact. And I can kind of see why. This certainly wasn't a boring movie to me. I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah.
No, I think it was definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Al, I have
getting a split decision.
reviews. After the other week, I was like, I don't think I like movies. I have changed my mind. I do indeed like movies.
Yay!
I loved this movie.
You know what? I did too, in all honesty. Once I got used to its visual style, quote unquote, in big quotation marks, I kind of just rolled with it.
So I ended up watching this twice, and I'll tell you why.
You really
I ended
liked
up falling asleep the first time through.
Okay, that's
Wow.
like actually surprising to me that that's possible a little bit. This is a very loud movie and more than just like a sound way.
Here's the thing. It's a loud movie when they're racing. It's a very quiet movie when they're actually doing exposition and talking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
I got a new sleep app, and my sleep app was registering sound only during the racing scenes.
I thought you said my new sleep app. We're gonna say my new sleep app is Speed Racer 2008.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's gonna put me to sleep, I
Certified.
think that'll do it.
Well, okay, so we seem to have a bit of a mixture here of people who are like loving it, middle, and not so much. So this.
Well, I'll just say this: I can totally understand why critics did not like it back in 2008, and I can understand why it's got a cult following now. So it's
the cult
I'm
following.
kind of like on both sides of the equation.
The cult following feels so appropriate here. So, like, I think, should we just go into plot, or we want to what do we want to talk about first here? Because there's a number of things.
If we're talking about plot, there's so much going on.
There is
Well,
so much.
I guess
more
we
plot
should
than
get the big elephant out of the room first: the visual style.
So yeah, little bit better budget Spy Kids.
I was thinking the same exact fucking thing.
So
Spy Kids 3D
we were
on
thinking
steroids.
it while we were watching. Spy Kids, we were thinking 3D was the most visually matched.
Yeah.
That was 2003.
Yeah, this is like 5 years later.
This is 5 years later. It was filmed and edited at the same time as Avatar.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the caveat with Avatar is that it also had a bigger budget.
Oh, astronomically, yeah.
I think they relied way too much on CG, where they could have done practical in this movie, and that stretched their animation budget way too thin.
Maybe. At the same time, they also needed virtually no sets. So that probably
too.
helped them save some cash.
Also, they didn't have to hire any stuntmen. They didn't have to, rent any stunt cars.
Yeah,
or
that's
commission
true
them.
as well. You literally just need a green screen and a little thing to make you bounce back and forth if you need to.
They didn't need to create any racetracks.
True.
You know, in all honesty, when I was watching the movie, I was thinking of Spy Kids, and I was also thinking of that infamous quote from the producer of the Star Wars prequel trilogy where he said, it's so dense, everything, there's a visual effect in every scene. I'm just thinking, okay, I'm counting the scenes where there's practical sets, and the only time I saw an actual set was like in the house at times.
I think
Yeah.
Sometimes, and only sometimes. I think there was a lot of green screen going on in the house.
Oh no,
Well,
there
like the one
absolutely.
scene,
I feel like every
the one
window
scene
is a
where the
green
mom
screen.
and Speed were talking in his bedroom. I feel like that was like the only time.
That was a set, definitely.
Yeah, I think they definitely made sets for places that they knew they were going to come back to a lot. Like the whole, I mean, like the park they had to have as a set, even if like the background sky and everything else is like CG. They had to have the house, probably the guy's office for the most part, but again, a lot of green screens in the backgrounds and stuff.
I think
Maybe their hotel room, because they actually had to like have a fight there, like an actual fight. But
No.
I
I mean,
No?
some of the set pieces for sure, but there were
Yeah.
some times when I was looking at their hairlines and I'm just like, this does not look quite right.
Yeah, no. Like, I'm not saying, like, the whole sets. Like, I think probably the only place that was, like, probably a full set was probably the house, except for, again, they probably had green screens right outside the windows to adjust, like, what time of day and how the outside would look. Yeah. Maybe the plane that they were on. But again,
No.
it's kind of like a small sort of set that it's just, like, put a couple seats, add green screens outside. Like...
no, and I
Yeah.
think a really big downfall visually for them was that they had so much going on green screen and CGI wise in every scene that they weren't keeping consistent. Like, at times, even just like the effects that were going on in the background were way too contrasting to what was going on in the foreground. And then the lighting was completely out of there.
Yeah, that'll happen, absolutely. I kind of think, like, because they're going for, like, the hyper-stylized reality kind of thing. We're calling it Spy Kids a lot because of the very obvious CG elements, but I think what they were kind of going for, to me at least, I think was mastered
Cartoony?
better in Scott Pilgrim. Because that's a little more what I felt like they wanted to do, but didn't know how to do.
Yeah, but Scott Pilgrim's
Um,
effects were a lot better. Let's be real.
That's part of
What
it.
was that
But
kids show that I said it looked like?
you said Spy
Kids
Kids.
show.
We
I
are
think.
number one.
Cat in the Hat. Oh, Lazy
Oh,
Town.
Lazy
Lazy
Town.
Town.
It gave me those
It
vibes.
gave me
too.
Lazy Town vibes.
Same.
I mean, yeah, some of the costuming definitely gave off that vibe.
Damn, now I'm rethinking a lot of this.
It was like
Great. Now I want to
Lazy
see Robbie
Town,
Rotten and
then
Sporticus in the Great Race.
I said the same thing when I was watching it. Like, I was like, is this Lazy Town? Like, what is happening?
Also, like, the actress they got for, like, the younger version of Trixie, I almost thought her entire face was, like, adjusted slightly.
I mean,
because her eyes
this-
are too big for her face. I'm sorry.
I don't know. We're probably
Well, just
gonna
wait till
run into
Aelita.
that. Yeah, we're gonna run into that.
I
in a
know,
few
I
weeks,
know.
but
I know what Aelita looks like, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh god,
I think
not
that
the eyes again.
that does bring up like the cast and the characters a little bit. Not to like jump off of the like let's beat these effects like a dead horse kind of thing, but because I'm always down for that. But that person, I think, she's the little sister in Modern Family, I think. And then
Yeah.
and then there's there's the obvious people that we know, like John Goodman or Susan Sarandon, that have been in a bunch
Yep.
of stuff. Outside of that, I didn't recognize the little brother that much. I know Racer X is from Lost.
The little brother is from Wizards of Waverly Place.
For a couple of episodes.
I
Yeah.
didn't watch that show as much though.
I don't
So,
remember
yeah.
him.
God, who else is in this? There's Christina Ricci. Wednesday Addams
Yeah.
is in this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't give her a lot to do, but
Apparently
I
the
don't know.
guy that was the main villain, the corporate CEO guy, he was also in V for Vendetta, which was another...
yeah,
Which-
he was
it-
the
He was the
I'm gonna-
television cult leader.
he's the Pierce Morgan guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they kill him in his shower or something.
Yeah.
So he very much gave Wish version Tim Curry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
A little
actually
bit.
was the voice that I was hearing come out of him. I'm like, why is this Tim Curry? But that's not Tim Curry's face.
I think the only issue would have been if having Tim Curry there, he would have been too likable, and we wouldn't have hated the villain.
Yeah,
It's very
that's-
easy to like for this guy to be the villain and be like unlikable in a lot of ways. And I think that works a lot to his advantage. Like we'd be sympathizing with it. Like I don't know if you guys remember. Like I'd just be seeing Muppet Treasure Island if Tim Curry was in there. I'd be like, yes, John Silver, yeah, you're the bad guy, but you're also like, I like you so much.
Also, the one concierge from Home Alone 2.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
There's a couple other people in here who I think I've like seen as like small bit characters. I think what's the sister to the one racer guy? They own the corporation. She gave him the invite to the Grand Prix. She was in an Expendables movie. I remember that. And she was like trying to flirt with Sylvester Stallone. It was kind of weird, actually.
I mean, but overall, for being like a lot of lesser known actors, besides like the obviously big names,
Yeah.
they all did a really good job with their characters.
Yeah, I will say, like, as far as the acting was concerned, I would say everyone gave a pretty decent performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing, and I'm kind of happy about it, because, like...
I know
I feel
people
like-
were telling me a bad thing that happened to the main guy who played Speed in his personal life, the actor, but, like...
That was not a bad thing that happened to him. That was a bad thing he did.
Well, that's what I meant to
Yes.
say. Well, that's what I meant to say, but anyway, throughout I was watching the movie, I was just thinking of, like, Alden Ehrenreich, the guy who played young Han Solo in Solo. Like, that's what he reminded me of, like, throughout the whole movie. Like, the looks, his demeanor, his acting. I don't know. I kind of got that vibe from him.
Who?
Maybe.
Al, do you know who played Racer X? They looked familiar.
I said he's from Lost. He's,
Oh, he's Jack.
yeah. So,
Kozi was sleeping for a bit there. It's okay.
yeah. Yeah, I think definitely everyone definitely put in a lot more effort than I think most people would have for a speed racer movie, which kind of works in the movie's favor because I feel like a lot of these roles are very much like I could literally just phone this in. Like this is literally a paycheck for me.
During the scene where Pops was talking to a Speed, like in the third act of the film, all I can think of was, damn it, John Goodman, you don't need to put your A game into this, damn it. Why haven't you won an Oscar, damn it?
That's an excellent question, but also at the same time, I don't think John Goodman's ever not put his A game into anything. I really don't think I've
Yeah.
ever seen John Goodman phone in a performance.
He's consistent.
I mean,
This was the movie that made me realize he is the voice of both Sully and Pacha.
yep.
You
I
did
don't
Wow,
know.
you didn't
I'm
know
usually
that.
good with voices, but I never noticed that they had the same voice.
He has the
Yeah.
same voice in every movie, though.
I know.
I mean,
Well, yeah,
he
it's
was
John
also
Goodman.
It's just
the,
John
You're,
Goodman.
you're paying for John Goodman.
The
Yeah.
thing with acting is that it is for a lot of people when they don't phone it. It is definitely for the love of the craft
Oh yeah, he
than
absolutely
it is for
loves
anything
us.
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, and it sounded like they had a really good time making this movie.
Like I said, like I think Christina Ricci was like quoted saying it that like immediately after they were done filming, the whole cast was like, "Hey, let's do another one of these."
Yeah, and they have the script ready for the second one.
Damn.
really-
But nobody will see it, so we can't.
I'll be honest with you. We haven't really gone into the details of the plot yet, but I'm really interested what that script would be because it feels like they hit everything they could with this movie. Like I'm really trying to think of anything else that could have been done with this property.
Well,
For
I guess
like-
my question before we go into the plot is, did anybody ever see the original cartoon from the 60s?
I probably
yeah.
saw
No.
like a rerun on like a Hanna-Barbera block or something
Because
like
Speed
back in the
Racer was
day.
one of those things like Pokemon where I didn't realize
Yeah.
it was an anime. I just thought it was a weird cartoon. I did not realize it was an anime.
I mean,
Yeah.
it went by a different name in Japan, so
It was
easy
Mach
mistake.
Go Go Go, and like the character's name was Go Mifune.
Yeah.
So, one other casting thing we should talk about, or at least mention. The old man announcer at the very beginning of the movie, that is the voice of Speed Racer from the 60s cartoon. So that was a cameo.
I love when they do that.
That's so
Yeah,
nice.
they had to make sure that he was there to do that. He was the voice of Speed Racer and Racer X, among a number of other like additional voices, because back in the day, you kind of had to cover a lot of ground for
That's
animation
true.
dubbing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we might as well get into plot at this point. It's a lot. It's kind of simple, but kind of
Yeah.
not. It's kind of a weird. Speed Racer, he wants to drive. He's Ricky Bobby. He wants to be a race car driver. And come on,
sorry.
he's a little kid who basically just like, I want to go fast.
No, I know. No, yeah, that's all he does.
How many of you have seen The Ballad of Ricky Bobby? Talladega Nights?
Yeah.
No, wait.
Yeah.
The Will Ferrell one?
What is that about?
It's about NASCAR.
Oh wait,
and
did you show me?
I don't think I did.
No.
Oh, okay.
All right. It's
Sweet
on the
Lord,
list. It was going to be
baby
on the list no
Jesus.
matter what. But yeah, dear 5 pound 6 ounce Lord baby Jesus.
Lord, baby Jesus.
He was a man. He had a beard.
It's a good movie.
Okay, fantastic. At least one person, 2 people have seen it. Good. Yeah, he's a kid. He's not doing well in school, but he likes race cars. He likes automobiles. He likes all that stuff. His dad is Pop Racer, and his older brother is Rex Racer, and they're drivers and they're mechanics and all sorts of stuff. So this is like the best place for him. But the racing world is corrupt, and they send a bomb to the Racer household, which I'm like, this escalated very quickly, because that's like,
So they sent a bomb because
yeah,
Rex was considered the best, and
Mhm.
since they wanted to rig the races, they needed him to cooperate.
and he wouldn't. And it's like, we're just gonna mail you a bomb in the first like 15 minutes of this. What I had to assume was a kids movie, but for the amount of times they say shit, was this PG-13?
Did they say shit?
Nope, this was a family film.
They genuinely, I
They
feel like I counted
swore a
3 to
lot.
5 times where they said
Yeah,
shit
I
and some
caught
other
that.
stuff.
I saw the little kid flipping someone off.
Yeah.
And I was
Yes!
just like, whoa!
The little kid in the
caught
elves. That's
2 asses, 1 middle finger, and 1 shit.
I mean, I
shit.
guess that
There
was
other
enough for a
shits.
PG-13. I guess that was enough for PG back in the early 2008. Nowadays, I'd probably rate it PG-13 because the rating system's too overboard, in my opinion.
I swear they said shit more than 3 times. I might.
I only caught 1. I could be wrong.
Okay. Which one was yours?
It was a really tough one. I could not figure out what he was saying. I rewound it like 8 times. I dragged Kozi into the room, and I was like, what is this line?
You
But
didn't
we-
put
I
on
think-
closed captioning?
No,
I
we didn't have
closed
it.
captioning.
Oh, okay.
He was like,
I think it was get that weak shit off my track.
I remember
Yeah,
that one,
something
but
like
I
that.
swore there were ones before that as well. I
There
think
could be.
I feel like it might have gotten lost in the shuffle, but I feel like the evil guy said like I'm gonna forget all that whole shit you just said right now, and I'm gonna tell you how things really are.
he definitely did.
Yeah, so like it was there throughout the whole thing. So I'm like, what on earth was it? There's other scenes we'll get to that
They
I was
got
kind of
away
like,
with a lot.
so much.
yeah, they got away with a lot here, I think.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
I don't
I'm
know
happy.
No, yeah, I'm wondering if that affected their box office. I'm not sure. But
No, I mean, keep in mind too.
doubt it.
This came out in the summer of 2008. What big movie came out in 2008?
I know
Iron Man
the
and
Dark Knight blew it out of the water, but still.
I feel like the intended audience, like, they might have wanted to get more children into it, but
Yeah.
really this was a movie that was banking off the nostalgia of the adults who grew up with the cartoon.
A little
Or
bit, but I
probably
feel
bringing
like
their kids.
yeah, I
Okay.
think that's kind
I
of the
found it.
that's kind of the plan for some of these is like, hey, you remember this, come see it, introduce it to your kids so we can then get them on this IP, essentially.
Okay.
I mean, I
so
think-
it
Yeah,
was
because then
rated,
they used it to launch the Speed Racer Next Gen.
it was
Yeah.
rated PG, apparently.
Yeah.
It was rated PG because nobody came to see it.
This, yeah.
So nobody knew there were swears in it.
Anyway, we're very off subject, but still important. So, bomb at the residence. He races. He does stuff. Eventually he has a falling out with Pops because apparently he's like taking money to take some like very dangerous races.
No, so
Something like that.
because
There
of
was-
the bomb, he went and he worked with the company.
Okay, all right.
He essentially
he
joined
joined.
the mafia,
Okay. Yeah,
which is why
this is a mob
he was getting
movie as
accused
well.
of dirty racing
I mean, he was knocking some people off the track a lot, which is like
because of the mafia.
doesn't seem entirely illegal in this. Like they're practically doing bumper cars a little bit in some scenes
It's like extreme pod
during
racing.
the legal races. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is pod racing.
That's what I was thinking.
So then,
I'm gonna say this: young Speed Racer had about the same acting range as that kid. So I'm sorry. He's he's a kid, but it was just like, oh my god, you are so wooden right now.
so
it doesn't
after
break the
Big Bro
movie.
gets involved in mafia dealings, he fakes his death to join the FBI.
What the hell? That is a huge spoiler for the end. He dies in a car crash, but I guess we're gonna jump right to the end.
What do you mean, spoiler? It's been out since 2008.
What? But the big reveal at the end,
We're
so
going in
important.
chronological order.
Yeah.
Chronological-
Come on.
Chronological order is stupid.
No, you gotta keep your big reveals for the end. How are we supposed to know that the guy who shows up whenever Speed nearly beats his brother's record is gonna be the bad guy? That has to be a reveal. We didn't know that was
Because
gonna happen.
people watched the show.
I'm sure they did, but it didn't, here's the thing. If they watched the show, they brought their kids, and the kids didn't know. You don't immediately tell a kid going into Empire Strikes Back, hey, by the way, Darth Vader is Luke's father. You let them have that moment.
I'm sorry, are you assuming people are watching the movie off of this?
No, but I'm just saying. It's
Fight me, Al.
It's nice
No, I will give you this, Kozi. I kind of suspected he faked his own death. Like, even with
Yeah,
it's an obvious trope,
It's so obvious. Like, as soon as they brought him in, I was like, oh, you're the older brother. Like, there's no question about it.
and like they even do like the full, mid-act twist. Oh no, I got a different face. And I'm thinking, oh well, you could always just do plastic
I'm like,
surgery.
Okay.
And
surgery.
in all fairness, I think in the original show, it literally was just a mask. Like, no one could tell. But, that doesn't work in live action. They had to do a face swap thing. Or it was going to be, way too fucking obvious. Okay. Rex is dead. And, Speed grows up. He races. He's really good at it. Some guy from Royalton, a guy named Royalton, our bad guy. Spoilers, everyone. He's the bad guy. If you couldn't tell immediately from him just walking in after flying a jet onto their driveway. Buying a pancake recipe, I guess. And he's like, come work for me. We may be a giant corporation, but I like to think of us as a small independent company, like when we started. And,
Microsoft started out like that too, and look at them now.
Yeah, well, I was going to say Amazon, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's obviously an evil corporation, and Pops
The
is like,
Wachowski
"Don't do
sisters
it."
are very anti-capitalism, and we love them for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If only some of their movies were a little bit better.
Oh.
Okay,
If we're gonna take a brief segue to talk about the
they're a little
Wachowski
inconsistent.
sisters.
They're a little inconsistent at times.
They either have really great writing, or they
Yeah.
have really great visuals. They never nail both.
Did they do
Besides The
all
Matrix.
of the Matrix movies?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
It's sometimes they can be. I feel like they have a lot of elements because they did this, they did The Matrix, they did Jupiter Ascending, which is its own thing, whatever.
They produced V for
think-
Vendetta, not directed it.
Yes,
Right.
but
I think they
their
were in charge of
fingerprints-
Sense 8.
yes, I think they were. Wait a minute. No, was that? Oh wait, I think you're right. Their fingerprints are all over V for Vendetta. You can look at it visually. But I think in a lot of ways they're similar to George Lucas in that they have a lot of really great ideas and can execute
one to tell
some
them
of them,
no.
but they can't always get like consistency for like creating some things.
Well,
unfortunately.
they need somebody to wrangle them in. Like the original trilogy worked because they had people that challenged George Lucas.
Yeah, no. Oh, the original. I thought you were talking about the Matrix trilogy.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. It's like the first Matrix was a really good movie, and I think
Went downhill.
it went downhill because I think their ambition for a lot of it, which I think was very good ambition, got a little past what they were able to put on film,
Yeah.
and it kind of became a bit of a mess. Kind of like how the prequel trilogy for Star Wars was, where like maybe there weren't as many people saying like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this, maybe we should do this a different way, maybe we should pull back a little bit, because I feel like they were probably getting a ton of praise for the Matrix when it first came out,
Right.
because it was
really good.
yeah, and it was enormously popular. People were still making like references to it like how many years later. It was kind of impossible to like avoid it a
to
little
this
bit, but
day.
yeah, no, but yeah, a lot of great ideas, but weren't always exactly sure how to execute them right. When they did execute them right, though, it worked a lot. But yeah, back to God, where were we? Evil corporate
Capitalism.
Yes.
I mean, the big
Yeah,
thing
he's
of
thinking
why
of-
Speed turned down the offer was because the dad was like, "Yeah, no, I don't trust corporations; they're evil." And
Yeah,
so,
no, yeah, and he's like, racing is about the people you love and family. Oh my God, this is like it drew from Fast and the Furious. It's about family. So he turns him down because he's like, it's about mom and pop shops, and it's about loving the races, and it's about just you and your car and the other guy in his car, and you race your heart out and you leave it all on the track kind of thing. And he's
Discount
like,
Tim Curry said,
Yeah.
"You're a little bitch."
yeah,
he
he's like,
pretty
"That-
much shattered his whole dreams and saying,
Oh,
"Yeah,
yeah,
every
he's
Grand
like-
Prix that's ever existed has been fixed."
Your life is a lie. Everything you know is a lie. You're a complete imbecile if you've ever believed any of this. Sign with me now or I'm going to ruin your fucking life." And
And
Speed's
here's
like,
how I'm
yeah,
going to ruin your
he
life.
details flashing that. I'm going to be honest. This is like the kind of the weirdest section of the movie because it's both flashing forward and not, and it's a little disjointed from a narrative standpoint because he's like, here's exactly what's going to happen, and then we see what's going to happen, and then I thought for a minute they were like, okay, we're just in the future now.
They didn't really allude to the fact that it was flashed forward
Yeah.
for that section until after it was already over.
It seemed more like he was describing what would happen, and then we would see what actually happened when he beat him. But no, it's like we're actually seeing what really happens as he's describing what will happen. Then we go back to the office where he says no, and then we cut to after the race where he's like, "I lost." And I'm like, okay, there was another way to do this. Maybe don't show. Maybe just say, I'm going to take you out at the race, and then we're going to do this, and this, and this. And then just, like, maybe Kozi's right, and chronological was the way to go here. Because this section is a little disjointed as far as narrative goes. Still, like, so the racing stuff was interesting and all that. But, yeah, that all happens. Pops is getting sued. The lawsuits are like, bullshit, but it's gonna ruin his reputation. He's like doing everything that he can to ruin their lives. He probably canceled their cable or something as well, just to fuck with them a little bit. Sign them up for a whole bunch of mailing lists that they do. They're like, I didn't subscribe to this magazine. Why am I getting it? Like, just stupid shit.
Fuck you, Speed.
Have you ever to mess with someone given like your friend's email to like some sort of like online newsletter, and they're like, why am I getting all these things for this?
No.
It's mean, but that feels like something you would do.
I do want to mail a potato once, though.
Wait, do they mail a potato? Where did that come from?
Yes, there is a service that just mails a potato.
To people you don't like?
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
want a potato.
I would like a
Send
potato. That's
to
free
someone you
food.
like?
That's free food.
Yeah.
Is this a rotten potato? Like what's
No, it's just because you can slap a stamp on a potato and they'll mail it.
Oh.
Oh,
So-
I would feel happy to receive
So hold
a
up.
potato.
Doesn't actually have to be
Insane.
bad then. It could be like, I love you. Here's a potato.
But just imagine the sheer confusion. You go to open your mailbox and there's just a potato. No explanation, just potato.
Okay.
be a great
I'm like,
day.
I know I'm getting off topic here. I know I'm going to get off topic. Is the potato in a box? Can you really
No,
just
it's
mail
just
a
a
potato?
potato.
Yes, you
The
can
Postal
just
Service
mail
will
a
do that.
potato as long as it has a stamp.
Can mail a lot of things as long as there's a stamp on it.
So
Gotta
wait,
test it.
does it also have like a mailing slip with it? Like,
It's
so it goes to
just
the
a
right
potato.
address?
Yeah.
This is like
Okay.
Can you do
I
this
really
with
have to
other
look into-
foods, or is it just potato?
Okay, all right. I'm gonna put a stopper on this whole conversation. We were gonna talk about this later, but not
We'll
for the
address
podcast.
this
We're
off
gonna.
recording.
If you personally listening need to know about this, Google it yourself, because we don't have the time to like discover the intricacies of mailing produce. So
Al, this is how you launch a Patreon of bonus episodes.
I was
Here are
thinking about
thoughts
that every now
on
and
the
then.
U.S. Postal Service.
Oh God,
on the Patreon.
I have fam people who like work in the post office, so yeah, I got
Oh, maybe not.
stuff.
Okay, hold up. Can we go take a step back? I like how Mom and Pop, when their eldest son died, they were like, "Shit, we gotta replace him," and popped out
Yeah.
Oh,
another.
you know they were going to be working on it anyway. It's John Goodman. He exudes sexuality.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, Spritle. Yes.
Yes.
Rex, valid name, but not common. Speed, they are lucky he was into race cars. What the fuck is a Spritle? That's all my thoughts. You can move on now.
Yeah, no, he has a kid brother. I don't know. It's a cycle.
I mean, wasn't the kid and the monkey in the original cartoon or anime?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were always hiding in his trunk as well. We should talk about that because there's a scene with Speed and Christina Ricci. Half of my brain was like, "Oh my god, this is a kids movie," and half of my brain was going like, "Okay, go on." Where they're like at makeout point or something.
You're ready for the porn music.
I
to
was
come on.
ready for this to turn into a porno. I know that's bad, but yeah, no, so yeah. I don't know what the thought process was there with having Speed and his like air quotes girl. It's his girlfriend, but it's also like I don't know. I was ready for it to turn into a porno.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the car?
Yeah.
Them in the car
Yeah.
at makeout point right before he gets cockblocked by Spritle, Sprickle,
Yeah.
Spickety Spackle, Chim-Chim.
Spittle?
Where they couldn't even put fucking rain effect shadows on the glass?
No. The first
No,
one.
no,
The
that's
first
later.
one.
That's towards the end. The
yeah,
first
where
time they had
they're
the-
talking
the
about
top
like,
open.
what are you gonna do
Oh,
when
okay.
you win? I have to, how about a big romantic gesture? I'm really. She's like, I don't know. What was the conversation? She's like, I'm right here, and you're not like interested in what's going on here. What's
Yeah.
going on here, Speed? And he's like,
She's like, how will I know you'll still care about me? He's like,
yeah.
I'll give you a kiss, and she's like, you'll give me your dick.
I was ready. Like half my brain was going, "This is a kids movie. Don't do that." And part of me was like, do it, please." I'm like, I don't know about anyone else. As a kid, had a crush on Christina Ricci after like seeing Addams Family Values.
I don't think I ever saw her.
I was a child in the '90s, so I was like, "Oh, add that to the list."
The silence was deafening, like you're the only one.
Yeah, so yeah, and she's about our age when she's in this movie, so I'm like, yeah, no, I'm absolutely down for anything that's about to happen. So
They were supposed to be 18, right?
Yes.
she was like 30 when they were filming this, I think.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
say he was 25, and like sometimes it's like okay,
25
but like
to
sometimes
30.
they
This is
zoom in
right
on
in
his
our
face
age
and he
range.
has so many wrinkles.
I am not
Yeah.
Like,
creepy
oh,
for,
that is a
for thinking
whole
about
man.
this. I want it clear. I'm not creepy for thinking about this. And clearly other people were thinking about it because the scene exists.
Yes.
Anyway, cockblocked by his little brother. As, so many of us have to deal with. What else? Then there's we race, we do stuff. He loses the race. Everything's rigged. Life is meaningless and everything sucks. And then I think the the CBI, I think they're called, show up with Racer X, the guy who throws people off track so much.
Yeah,
And
Inspector Detector.
Inspector Detector.
Inspector Detective.
I love that name.
So these are, you can tell these names were come up with in the 60s. Yeah, they're like, Racer X works for us, and we're trying to take down this guy who's trying to monopolize a transistor. What were the things? Whatever the part
Some
was.
weird ass reactor for the cars.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah, some part they like we're gonna control all the facilities that make them. We'll control all the entire supply of it, and they're gonna make a monopoly and essentially try to control all of the racing stuff. Because if like they can prove that this thing makes every car faster, everyone's gonna want one. They're gonna make all the money. So they're trying to prevent that. And they're like, Speed, we need your help because there's this guy who is the son of a major corporation, but he's also a racer, and he might owe the mob money. That was a thing earlier with Racer X taking down a tractor trailer that had a mob boss's office in the back.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Mobile Solutions.
he was the heir to one of the companies that was cooperating.
Yeah. How do you not have a bodyguard to keep you out of these situations so that your hand isn't almost put into a piranha tank?
Well, his father told him to fucking prove himself.
Oh, geez. So his dad did that.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude. That's hardcore. Okay.
That was
Well,
why
yeah.
he needed to win the race, and they went and got Speed.
Well, wasn't his grandfather the one that was the true head of the company, and it was the dad, and then it was him?
Possibly.
No, his dad is the head of the company. The other Japanese guy who's talking with Royalton guy, I think he's just their liaison between the companies.
For some reason, I thought that was his grandfather. For some reason,
He's got white hair, but like, yeah, they're yeah, whatever. I was confused at like the beginning, why he was like in debt to the mob when he's like the heir of a huge corporation.
Yeah, because he had to actually prove he was worth shit.
But I thought they wanted him to lose races. I think there's an issue here with like exposition or something. I don't know what's going on with him entirely.
The exposition itself is all over the place.
Yeah.
It's really hard to keep track of.
I'm not 100%.
How much do you know about insider trading?
Well, there's a lot. But there's like, I'm not 100% on how we introduce this character, but essentially they're trying to make it so the company is worth more. That way Royalton guy can't buy it. And to do that, they have to win this semi-underground race that's televised across the entire world. Fucking, I don't know. I don't know what they think underground is. But
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is like the other company wanted it to win the race, so that way, like you said, the shares can go up, so that way Royalton might not want to buy it.
exactly, so he
and
wouldn't
then
be able to. So
And then it's revealed that the young guy was in it the whole time, and at the time
Again,
they thought it was, oh
let's-
no, we're trying to take out this Royalton, so it's...
yeah. So need a team of 3. This guy needs Racer X and Speed to cover him so that they can get through this 3-day race, essentially. Was it a 2-day race? I forget how many days it was. I think it was 2, right?
I think it was
so.
3.
I don't know.
Because it was the first day they had to deal with the one
The
other
desert.
crazy team.
Well, I'm
second
thinking,
team
I'm thinking about it from the places that they're driving. They drove through the desert. They drove through the mountains. What was the 3rd day?
The 3rd day was after, because the second day was when the one guy got hurt and Trixie had to take over for a little bit.
That was the mountains.
And then after that, they had didn't they stay the night, and that's when the
They
ninjas
did the
attacked?
desert.
No.
They did the desert, stayed the night,
Oh.
ninja attack, we'll get there, and then the mountains. So I think it's only a 2-day race.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
you're right.
So, okay. yeah, they got to win this race. Underground, not underground. Whatever. He has to tell his dad that he's off somewhere else doing something else. But they can qualify for the Grand Prix and beat these people out. And they can also boost the company so they can't be bought out. And that'll put a kink into Royalton's plans. Blah, blah, blah. Insider trading. Yada, yada, yada. Let's race. So their weapons are all over this race. And people are genuinely trying to kill each other. And I'm kind of like, wow. Kind of cool. And then,
I gotta say, for as weird as the visual effects were, I actually liked a lot of the races in the movie. I thought they were well paced, and they were well, I guess, choreographed, if that's the right word, since it's all CGI.
The Wachowskis know how to do action pretty well, and I think they can choreograph action scenes pretty well, whether it's with like human kung fu type stuff or with cars in this case. It's like, I actually don't think the ninja fight is super impressive, but still.
I mean, the highlight was John Goodman and his great CGI work.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're in the desert, and they're driving around. They're fighting Vikings, army men, and snake people. And I like how one of the weapons on these is literally a catapult with a beehive. Like, they just like... This is wacky races, and I'm here for it. I'm down for the craziness, and it gets pretty.
I imagine the original cartoon was like that too, because there was a lot of characters that have been memeified on the internet.
From what I saw, it's mostly like the Mach 5 type weaponry, bouncing around, like the grappling hook stuff. I don't know if Speed Racer would have had a bee attack thing or a catapult that launches snakes at people, and yet at the same time, I can't rule it out. And then, so they lose the first race to this snake guy who I think was a bigger character in the cartoon. He's just sort of here to be another racer. Him and his team. But yeah, then it's ninja time. Because we're at a hotel room. Speed's family shows up, but then we get attacked by ninjas who aren't there to kill them, apparently. I guess just like fill them full of tranquilizer darts or something. It's so weird. Like, I don't know. Something about just, like, incompetent ninjas, and then we have a whole fight scene with them
Kozi
fighting
was right.
ninjas.
Yeah, remember when I was like, hey, there's just gonna be, like, a whole martial arts fighting scene in this?
Like, I kind of remember this when I saw the trailers. That there were ninjas, but it like when you're watching the movie itself, it's like, this feels really out of left field.
Yeah.
But also not, because it's so zany to begin with.
I know, like I just talked about, I'm down for the beehive catapult, and yet ninjas are throwing me off a little bit. Maybe it's almost like it's too normal?
Maybe.
Having a ninja as an assassin? I almost feel like maybe it could have been like, hi, we're Girl Scouts here to sell you cookies. And then they like pull out a Glock or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds like the Girl Scouts' new method of making sure they get their sales boosted.
Or like the cookies are explosive. I don't know.
You're gonna get those Thin Mints, damn it.
The Thin Mints are sure.
So
Ninja Girl Scouts.
Though, it was
Ninja
not,
Girl Scouts.
It was not an assassination. They were paralyzing them.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's so crazy to me to think that like
maybe they couldn't kill them because then they would have known that they would have been done foul play, and then
that they would have like stopped the whole race and tried to like figure out what was going on. But like, oh, they got really drunk last night and now they can't race or something. Now they're sick. So that's a lot more like believable from the audience and staff standpoint. So sorry, I'm still stuck on this ninja thing. Like, why aren't ninjas cool here for me? I love ninjas.
Probably because they got beat up so easy.
That's probably another element to it.
Yeah.
These are poor excuses for ninjas.
The
even
pantsin
mention
thing.
Yeah.
More like a ninja.
Apparently Speed and Trixie are really good martial artists when they're not racing.
Yeah,
because during the big fight scene, like during the one fight scene in the mountains with the whole family, like,
oh god,
I love that scene.
Yeah,
but that whole scene, I love that scene for how zany it was, but like apparently everybody in the family knows how to fight except for Sparky.
I feel like
Yep.
even he does a little bit. Oh no, wait, Sparky.
No, Sparky
Yeah,
didn't do
God,
shit.
we haven't even talked about Sparky. He's almost a non-character.
He
at
really
times.
wasn't a character in the movie, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they beat up the ninjas because Dad's a state champion Greco-Roman wrestler, and he just like throwing people left and right.
Like
Yeah.
a pizza.
Yep. Yeah, so that ninja attempt didn't quite go well. They got the guy from the corporation though. I don't remember what his name is. So they got to go race next day, but he can't do it. So we're gonna have Trixie drive the car, and the dude's sister will take her place in the helicopter and will trick everybody, and then we'll switch after the poison's out of his system. So we're driving up a mountain pass with Snake Man and his crew, and Snake Man's doing some pretty nasty moves on a couple of these things that like almost kills Trixie, and Speed's like, I'll kill you first, and but he's the good guy, so he doesn't, despite the fact that he could have like just ripped that man's face off with his tire. Like, this goes to like some very darkly implicated places that I was almost like, oh, do it, Speed, do it, take that mustache off his face.
Pretty convenient that Trixie can drive, like, almost as well.
You know, I think to some degree, it's like every character needs to just be able to do whatever the scene needs them to do. So, does everyone need to fight in this scene? We have a fight going on? Okay, everyone needs to know how to fight. We have a lot of driving. Everyone needs to know some degree of driving.
I mean, I can kind of maybe understand Trixie because, like, it's obvious she's had feelings for him since they were, like, 10, and it's been 8 years, so they must have hung out at the racetrack almost every day.
Absolutely.
So maybe
or the garage, or, like, I guarantee you, he took her out driving somewhere.
I mean, whatever she saw in him in the first place, we'll never know, but...
I don't know. Yeah, he's dumb, but he's a himbo. I think he's a himbo at first to her.
Some women just like pathetic-looking men.
I don't think Speed looks pathetic in this movie.
Okay, not pathetic-looking, but just pathetic in general men.
Again,
That's
I don't
better.
think he's ever been pathetic in this movie. I mean,
As a
depressed a
kid.
little bit. As a kid?
Maybe as a kid.
He was having the time of his
Yeah.
life. He was driving around in his little car the whole time.
I
He
was
was
kind of
failing in school because all he did was, like, oh, Rex is cool on my test.
Yeah, I think like his whole
Yeah.
thing was simply like, I'm not interested in school, but I have this interest, and it's my whole life.
He was in his own world.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
literally told her he wouldn't have graduated without her.
That's fair, but I don't think she cares.
Nope.
Anyway, they're gonna switch out the people, and then the mob shows up, but then, everyone starts fighting because, again, the kid hid in the trunk. At what point are they just gonna lock the trunk so he can't get in?
Yeah.
Just
Like-
remove the trunk in general. A
Yeah,
race
why-
car doesn't need one.
Yeah, you could be putting other things in there. Or, like, reducing weight by just not having it. It's weird. Yeah, so big fight scene set to the Speed Racer theme. I did like that little addition.
Bop. So jam.
Yeah. So that all happens. It's like everyone's fighting. It's a fun little fight scene. The mob, did they do anything with the mob? Were they just arrested? What happened?
No, nothing happened.
They just left
They
them there?
just got beat up. Yep.
Okay, they left them there, get back in their cars, drive off. Snake is back in the lead as they're heading
Wait,
towards
is that the scene where everybody pulls out a gun?
Yeah,
Yes.
Just out of nowhere, just like everyone has a gun on them.
I think
Yep.
the mob brought a lot of guns, but
They
then
did.
they all got disarmed and all the good guys took the guns.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
missed that. I just looked up at one point and they all pulled out.
Yeah, everyone's got a gun.
It was
kinda funny.
So funny.
They're going to the tunnel where Rex died, and yeah, they gotta fly their way through there, and then they come out the other side, and Snake Guy is starting to lose the race, and he's really pissed, so he just starts shooting people, like, for real. And
Thank goodness for bulletproof glass.
yeah, I was waiting for them. Like the Mach 5 has like all its modifications now, so it's like we need to incorporate them all. Eventually, Speed gets thrown off a cliff, but he bounces himself to the other side of the valley and then uses spikes on his wheels to drive straight up the cliff.
Yeah.
Gravity be damned.
That's how physics works.
I
pulled
feel
the
like
Batman
that
forever.
that was illegal. That was definitely a shortcut.
I don't know, because he also bounced down a cliff and no one called him on it. So I think as long as you get to the spot you gotta go to, and I mean, can you really just, like, how many other people, I mean, do you think they were ever gonna make a rule, like, you can't jump off the cliff and then cling to the other side of the cliff to drive up the cliff? I don't think anyone would have thought to make a rule
And
against
also, the guy literally put oil in the middle of the road, so like he slipped.
It's
There
like,
are no rules.
there's rules, but it's like everyone's like has this like thing of like we all know that there's no rules.
Yeah.
I think they
Maybe
even
that's
say
why
like
it's underground.
Yeah.
Because it's unregulated.
yeah, all of them are like there are definitely rules, and you know, but we have very few people who break them, or at the very least, like a bunch of people who just don't get caught doing it, kind of thing. It's very blatant.
It's an
though.
unspoken rule that there are no rules.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I'm saying.
like Pittsburgh traffic.
Well, yeah, okay. So I'm allowed to add oil slicks, I guess. Cool. Yeah, Speed gets up to the other side. He knocks the other guy off. I really thought he killed that man until I saw the parachute. There's like so many moments where I'm like, these people should be really dead. But then it's like, oh, this is supposed to be a kid's movie.
Quick, throw in a parachute in post.
Yeah.
There.
To be fair, the whole race is in post.
Why did that guy get a parachute, but everyone else got safety bubbled?
I think the safety bubble works on a track or something because you're already on the ground. I still think like a long fall terminal velocity impact, even in that safety bubble, might kill someone. So that might be why they had a parachute for that one. I don't know. Hard to say. The physics here don't matter, quite frankly. Because Speed wins the race and comes out at the end with his iconic, I just won, I'm going to go from 300 miles an hour to 0, turn my car sideways, jump out simultaneously towards the camera, pose from the show.
Right.
Which is like, okay, completely ridiculous, but fun. Good for you. I like that. That was nice. They win. The company... The price goes up, like, by 50%. They're thinking, oh, Royalton's not going to buy it. He buys it, and they're like, woohoo! We got a lot of money. And everyone else is like, oh no, Royalton's going to win. But then the sister shows up, and she's like, hey, I got this thing. You can beat him at the Grand Prix. So they're like, let's build a car in one night. So they do that. And now we have the Mach 6. And the other team is like, hey, we have to... 2-time Grand Prix winner, which really doesn't mean anything because it's all rigged.
Yeah.
But a 2-time Grand Prix winner with the new supercar that we built with our special fusion engine, I don't know, thing.
Teach me something new.
Yeah. But then, of course, Pops is like, oh, that's a dumb thing. I have this even more super duper fusion engine that we're going to put in the Mach 6. I don't know why we never put it in the Mach 5, but yeah. So, Grand Prix time, they let him in because they have the invite, and not doing so would do something? I don't know. So everyone's like, oh god, Speed Racer's here. They're going to be gunning for Speed Racer, and I think this movie might have caused people seizures at this point.
I asked that. I was like how many people had a seizure in the theater because of this movie?
Like,
But
especially
also, like...
this coming race. Because, like, especially at the beginning of it with the zebra thing, like, that's a lot of flashing lights. Like, all at once.
This was where, like, a majority of the budget went.
Yeah, and, like, that's great. But at the same time, I think, like, if they just cut the flashing zebras, like... Sometimes it's very fast, and it's, like, you can't always tell what's going on. But it's even worse when there's, like... a strobe light effect happening on your screen. I got a little bit of a headache at the start of this race.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cannot look at that.
Yeah, but yeah, the race goes and there's people fighting back and forth, but Speed's beating them all because he's the best. He's the speed racer. He's not the speed racer. He's the speed racer. I don't know. He gets up to the guy
I
from
still
Royalton.
can't believe that's his actual name. It's so stupid.
Well, I want you to think about this. Pop's name is Pops.
Yep.
Mom's
Yeah.
name is Mom.
Not in
And-
Japanese. They had real names in Japanese.
I get, but the guy's name is Go. But like, is it weird to think?
You to call me Ko.
Is it weird to think that Speed Racer's brother Rex Racer is called that because he wrecks?
Oh my god. I did not even
Yeah.
think about that.
Like,
Go to your room.
Wow.
I genuinely think that's because like
That's
Mom,
the joke.
Mom, Pop, sure. Speed, it has to do with racing. Rex, why Rex?
Why
Because he
Squirtle?
wrecks.
You're right.
That's kind of the whole thing that his character's known for, other than the Racer X thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, he gets up to the guy and he's like, "Show me some shit. Don't give me that weak ass shit." Like, Speed Racer, why your potty mouth?
It was good. I liked that part.
Yeah. The guy tries
A
to cheat.
well-placed swear from somebody who does not often swear. Very good.
Yeah. The guy tries to cheat, gets caught cheating. Then they wreck, but Speed feels the car and gets synced with the Mach 6, and he realizes how to start it up again. And then he goes and flies and he wins the race in a giant, like, this is a fever dream. This is like a complete, like, LSD induced, like, trip your balls off.
Well, let's not forget the one time that the rules were actually enforced whenever they used the illegal grapple hinge thing, and he steers his car to the camera so everyone
That's what I'm
can
saying.
see it.
They caught him. They caught the Royalton people cheating because yeah, they installed like illegal weaponry into the actually sanctioned races. So yeah, but Speed wins because all that. He's the first legitimate winner of the Grand Prix, so that's something. Jumps out, gets a cold bottle of milk because I guess kids movie, but everyone's drinking champagne throughout the rest of it in like the box seats.
I mean, to be fair, NASCAR does milk too.
Wait, they do?
They do? That's a thing?
Yeah,
Hold up, why is that?
yeah. I don't know.
I'm sorry, you've just like put like a lot of things in my head right now. I have no idea what's
I
going
mean,
on.
I'm not a big NASCAR fan, but I know that
I could have
traditionally.
sworn
yeah.
I've seen like people win like a NASCAR race or something and like start spraying people with champagne.
I mean, they do
Yeah,
that
they
too.
do both.
I have
seen NASCAR
so
drivers drink milk.
many things to Google now. Potatoes in the mail. What else can I mail produce wise? Why do NASCAR drinkers drink milk? Like, this is-
it's an Indy 500 thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, it's just for the Indianapolis 500?
Yes.
Yeah.
So other races don't do the milk thing.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. I mean, if it's a specific thing for a specific track race kind of thing, I guess I can understand that.
Oh, it was buttermilk. Can you drink that?
I mean, you can drink anything that's liquid, but you know,
Fair enough. Okay, moving on.
yeah, you know, you can drink acid, but you can really only drink it once. I don't think I want to compare buttermilk to acid, but like, it's a little acidic, isn't it? Isn't that kind of the
No.
point? No? Is it the
Milk
opposite?
is more
Basic?
basic.
Well, buttermilk. Isn't it like soured?
I mean, it would still be basic because it's
Alright.
milk.
Well, still, you
Wouldn't
don't
it?
want like heavy bases. Like, oh god, now there's too many things to fucking Google now.
Modern
This
butter-
movie is
All
destroying my life.
buttermilk is the milk left over when you made butter.
So
Okay, that actually doesn't sound too bad.
Blech.
he grew up on a dairy farm, so the way it was used to made is it was like rich and creamy. Now it has a culture with it, so it tastes sour and is not great for drinking. It's usually used for cooking.
See, I knew it was used for cooking, but oh god, we are getting so off fucking topic. Speed wins, drinks milk, kisses Trixie. They have a little disclaimer in front of the kissing scene with the little brother.
Yep.
Which I'm like,
Yep.
in character at this point, but like also at the same time, it's like you literally had them saying shit and shooting people. But we're like...
But oh god, they're gonna kiss.
Yeah.
Speed racer, choose a lane. The day is saved, and the guy goes to jail, and we get a bunch of flashes of like, the racer family's doing well on newspapers, and the other guy went to jail. Cheaters never prosper. Speed racer, best racer in the world. And then we find out the thing about Racer X being the face swapped brother of he's Rex, and I can't think about what could have been. I only have to live with what is, kind of thing. There's your sequel. We find out that Speed finds out Rex is alive and he's Racer X.
Yeah.
That probably
even
would have
though
been
he,
their
like-
sequel.
Even though he knew.
Yeah, he knew,
already.
but then he took off his mask and he was like, "Oh, you're not him." But
yeah,
you're
even
like
though it
exactly like him.
was- Yeah.
It's like I
a little
knew
weird.
it.
It's a little
Yeah,
weird.
that's the whole movie.
Jesus.
God, this was a long ass movie.
It was long.
was.
I did not
It was
expect
long.
it to be that long.
It had so much personality.
Yeah.
I loved it. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna start hyperfixating on it, and I don't need that right now.
That's,
no.
I hate to.
Should
What do
we
you
be
mean by
expecting some
hyperfixating?
Speed Racer cosplays from you?
Oh god, no.
I think
hope
you just
not.
mean sometimes you find a piece of media that you're like,
No.
oh, I want to look up everything about it. I want to see all the things attached to it, kind of thing.
They were talking about turning a Barbie Jeep into a Mach 5.
Oh.
Nah.
Would you drive it
I'll
at the
find
con?
See, you can't. They don't allow motorized vehicles.
What?
So
oh,
now I'm
hold up.
thinking a much smaller one, like an RC size, to make my cats drive it.
No. We could do this at a convention. Think about this. It's not motorized if it's a pedal car.
Ooh, that's true.
Oh, you're right.
Oh.
If well, it's going to depend on the convention, depending on exactly how they word their thing. But if it's specifically a motorized thing, which is probably used to get rid of those hoverboards and stuff, I definitely think a pedal car could work. Because I feel like I've seen people dress up as Jigsaw on a tricycle.
Yeah.
We did go to a convention where the guy was Dr. Robotnik in his machine.
That was
That
a
guy-
wheelchair.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that was a motorized scooter or a wheelchair, which I think that's a whole you have permission for those.
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah, you kind of need
I
that
didn't
to
realize
move
that was a
around.
wheelchair.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a wheelchair. It was so cool.
Well, he covered it so that he could he could
I
incorporate
know,
his
he
chair
did
into
a
that.
great job.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I've seen some people do Halloween costumes where they their kid's wheelchair turns into a TIE fighter and other stuff like that.
Nice.
You can get very creative. It's a solid base
Yeah.
and you can just build off of it as long as you don't obstruct the wheels and stuff. Yeah, no, feel free to hyperfixate. It's gonna end up being a dead end because there's nothing else of this. You
No,
either got to go
the
back to the
cartoon.
60s show or maybe some remakes that they've probably made over the years of cartoon versions of this, but
Just find some fanfic.
It's kind of weird, too, because I did some research. The original manga this was based off of only lasted 2 volumes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yet the cartoon lasted,
it's
at least over 60 episodes. I want to
It's
say not even
called
more.
filler.
yeah.
They did that a lot back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yup. Like Sailor Moon.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
And Tokyo Mew
this
Mew.
is a little older than all of those, but yeah.
Yep.
It's easy, especially because the premise of it is simply he races cars. You can literally make any kind of race you want and incorporate your gadgets and your different people doing different things, kind of thing. It's a simple enough premise that you can make it super episodic and just keep that thing going for as long as you want. But sadly, this one will not continue as long as it wants because it did not do well enough at the box office to warrant, I think it was Warner Brothers, making more of them. So,
A question. They were talking about the Grand Prix of the 43 or whatever.
yeah.
So this likely took place in the 60s. Do we think it's the 1960s and it's retro future?
Okay.
Or is it the 2060s and humanity is just wrapped back around to the 1960s aesthetic?
I assume it's just an alternate timeline where everything is just different. Because they definitely looked like old-timey steampunk for like a lot of those founders of the racing world kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of talked like, at least with the exposition dump we got from the Royalton guy, he was essentially saying like the racing world was essentially started by all the people who kind of built the automotive industry, which if we're comparing it to our timeline, would be somewhere in like the early 1900s, around the time of the Industrial Revolution. So the 43 would have been somewhere around somewhere between 1940 and 1950 if we're talking like in comparison to us. This is the 91st one, so this is somewhere anywhere from 1990 to 1999, I think.
Oh, you think it's in the 90s?
Yeah, which is not too far off from 2008 when this came out, but again, I think this is an alternate history.
Yeah.
Or an alternate universe entirely. Kind of deal.
I kind of was hanging on like some of the wording a little bit because I just got stuck on Trixie using cool beans.
Yeah, cool beans.
That's her catchphrase.
Yep. Yeah, it's oh god, I'm like really trying to think of like some of the like the dialogue in this. I'm kind of stuck a little bit in Trixie and Speed's make-out point interaction, but like, you are really pushing this PG rating right now. You're doing it in other places, but like here it really feels like you're trying to push something.
I think you just really wanted it to happen.
I did so badly.
Yeah, Al's just
That's
horny.
a you problem.
Can you entirely blame me? Who else here had a crush when they were a kid? On like a TV character or something?
Just any crush?
Well, I don't know. Like, what is like? I'm wondering if I'm the only person with this frame of reference right now.
You know, I've definitely had crushes, and I've definitely, shipped characters together back in the day.
I mean, I remember liking specific characters, but never anything like that.
Okay. All right. I'm kind of on my own here.
Sure. Fuck, I think I got a crush on Speed Racer right now.
Wow.
Bam! All right.
Like the cartoon Speed Racer or the movie Speed Racer?
I really don't know.
Why not both? I mean, like, as far as, like, again, I'm no expert on Speed Racer as a cartoon or an anime or anything like that, but this feels like it's probably a pretty, like, faithful adaptation for the most part. It seems too ridiculous not to be a faithful adaptation.
Yeah, like, even the transitions were kind of reminding me a little bit of, like, an old cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, where they would just have the faces transition across the screen. I'm like, what is this?
My god, the
that.
abundance of floating heads in this movie. It's kind of baffling. Like, I know it was a stylistic choice, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, pull back a little bit on some of this.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't mean to wrap back around to the green screen stuff, but, like, there's, like, some editing decisions that were a little weird. Like, right in the middle of Royalton's speech about, like, oh, this is how the world is, and blah, 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 blah. Like, this is a really serious scene where I feel like he's kind of giving it his all, and we immediately cut to the kid and the monkey driving down a hallway, running people over to Freebird.
Yeah.
It's a little disjointed. Like, I'm like, what is happening? Why is this here right now? I thought were we not? Like, what's going on? And then they're in a lab coat.
This whole movie is a trip. A road trip.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I came into this podcast thinking to myself, like, I saw it, I enjoyed it, probably wouldn't watch it again. I'm redescribing this. I think I want to watch this again at some point.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, like, if maybe I need to make a drinking game or something. Or what? You know what? No, too many flashing lights. Someone's going to throw up by the end of it.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll cautiously start ideas for a drinking game for Speed Racer. But, I don't know. What other thoughts you guys have?
Swears. When they swear, that's when you drink.
Yeah, it won't be that often, but, like, enough to be like, wow, why?
Yeah.
More than you'd expect.
I was gonna say, like, we could maybe say every floating head that you see on the screen, take a sip.
Oh, sip. Okay,
And
I was about to
just
be
a
like,
sip.
if you were like a shot, I'm
Take
like,
a
you're gonna
whole
be
shot.
dead. You're gonna
No,
be dead after a
trust
scene.
me, we'd all be dead by the end of that movie.
I feel like what you just said is like some way you can kind of describe like any element of this movie. More than you'd expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many weird cutaways are there? More than you'd
A lot.
expect. How much do they swear? More than you'd expect. How much sexual tension is here? More than you'd expect.
How much did I like it? More than you'd expect.
This should practically be the subtitle under the Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Speed Racer. More than you'd expect.
That makes it sound like he's gonna get naked.
Wow.
Wow.
Now I'm trying to wonder how much nudity was in this.
More than
Oh?
you'd expect.
You know what? Maybe not that one.
No, I
I
don't think
was gonna
Maybe
say,
there's
not
I
that
any.
can't
one.
remember any that I could honestly
Unless
think
I
of.
blacked out. I don't think there was any.
I mean, I don't think it would have gotten a PG rating if it had any in it.
I
Yeah.
didn't expect this thing to be PG after watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I did like about the movie that we haven't talked about is like the race commentary during the races and how they did it in different languages. I thought that was a nice little touch.
That was a
Yeah.
nice touch. Yeah, it
That was
like this
cool.
does feel like a very international movie because like yeah, you have some people in different languages, but you also have like a number of other people doing various accents. I don't know if those are real accents, like they're not native English speakers or something, but it did kind of work for me.
So I was like listening to a little bit of the languages. I could kind of pick out at least like what some of them sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a lot of them were real, and I do believe like a lot of the even more British accents like are definitely like more regional ones.
Yeah.
From like different parts of the UK or like potentially like from other places that are under like British territory. So
Yeah.
What was the dude's name? Sparky?
Sparky?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was
he was Australian.
Australian, yeah.
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 Something like that, yeah.
I couldn't tell. It seemed to change every single scene.
Nah, he was Australian.
I can
It-
look
Yeah,
up
I
who
mean,
the
at least
actor was,
it
so-
sounded that way to me.
Yeah, I picked up on that. I said to my parents who were in the room, I was like, is he Australian? Like, okay.
About the language though, that absolute fucking bop of a remix of the theme song. They
Oh,
do
at the
a
end?
yeah, they do a similar thing. There's a
Mhm.
verse in Japanese and then a verse in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of hit everything a little bit with this. Like, probably made it easier if they were going to end up, like, dubbing it into other languages to, like, kind of keep the same vibe in that.
That's true.
Because, like, you have, like, English, obviously, but also, like, Japanese. I think there was, like, some Spanish, some Italian, probably, like, German or something. Like every major, like, country that would have any kind of racing in it was probably represented here. Like, whether it's, like,
Yeah.
American NASCAR or something, but probably also, like, Formula One or, like, some of the things in Europe or even Asia and that definitely were included there. Speaking of,
Roy... Oh, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, what was Royalton's whole deal when he came to their house and he said in German, pancakes are love?
Yeah.
Yeah, was he supposed to be German now? He just seems so British.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like that might have just like been a thing, like it's a saying, and you just said it in German
I think
because it's a
why?
German saying.
I think maybe he was just like
Is
he'd
it?
been traveling since he was a kid, so
Maybe.
he like already knew a bunch of languages.
Maybe he just really likes pancakes. Like, pancakes are love, pancakes are life.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It says the German language is apparently like everything has like an exact word for it, so everything translates into German and everything means exactly what it is.
I just
So
That's true.
I
the
just love
Germans have a word and phrase for everything.
I just love that.
Yeah.
I'm part German, so I can say this, but like I just love how the joke of like saying like, "Oh, everything you say in German sounds like you're really pissed off."
It does a little bit. Like I think they have like a lot of hard consonants in their in
They
the
do.
language.
Yeah.
Well, like that one viral video where like you said like different words in like different languages, like butterfly, whatever.
You mean that one YouTube video?
Yeah, that one video, yeah, from years ago, where
Yeah.
the guy says the different languages and they all kind of sound similar, and then there's German.
Yeah, it's like hospital, hospital, Krankenhaus.
Yeah.
Ambulance.
And then they
Ambulance. Krankenwagen.
And then they have Butterfly, which is Mariposa, Papillon, Schmetterling.
Schmetterling.
I
It's very easy. I feel like we're getting really racist.
Sorry.
I think it's German that has the word for bat is fluttermouse.
Fluttermouse. Oh, yeah, I mean, that would make that is a bat. It is a fluttery mouse.
That is adorable.
Okay. God, do we have anything else to say about this?
I mean, it's definitely interesting. I wish they had gone for more practical stuff, but otherwise, like, it is what it is for the budget that they had, so I can't really complain too much.
Any other final thoughts from anyone? Will anyone else be, like, joining me and I have to assume Cece on a drinking rewatch?
Sure.
I mean, sure.
Obviously, alcohol is included now, so we're definitely gonna
if
do
we're
something,
drinking, it's cool.
I like this movie. I like liquor.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm gonna go back and watch the cartoon now.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do a thing of that when we're actually doing normal anime yay or nay again.
Yeah.
All right, so Speed Racer done in the books. Next
It's a yay.
week. Yeah, it's a yay. It's how much of a yay is it? More than you'd think. Or more
Which
than
is
you'd
going to be
expect.
very funny considering what we're going to be watching next week.
Oh,
Oh
fuck
boy.
me. Okay, so next week we're going chronologically with how like some of these with all these things were released. So 2008 leads to 2009. Everybody, it's time for Dragon Ball Evolution.
Dragon,
Yay!
rock dragon. Woo!
I don't know what to say here, man. Like we all know this is gonna be bad.
I've never
It's-
seen Dragon Ball, so I'm excited to see this movie.
Okay, yeah, maybe you would, but like this is the poster child for don't make live action anime.
Exactly.
I don't
So-
think it can do any psychological damage to me.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think here. I've seen a lot of I haven't seen a lot of Dragon Ball. I've seen a lot of Dragon Ball Z, and I've seen a good portion of Dragon Ball. And then there's the other stuff like some of those other ones. But I know I got most of you to watch for Shonen Showdown at like 6 episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Anyone have any experience past that?
No.
I mean, bits and pieces here and there, but nothing
Okay.
like in
Yeah.
any chronological order.
Okay.
My sister is a big fan, so I've seen quite a bit, but not nearly as much as you.
Okay. All right.
Nope, and I was not present for Shonen Showdown, so.
That's also true, yeah.
Miss
Kozi, how about
even
you?
that. Kozi went to bed early because she kind of got sick.
Because it's late. Okay. They heard Dragon Ball Evolution was coming, and they were like, "I'm sick. Goodbye." All right.
She got
Well,
a bit of a migraine. She said to say that the movie was a yay for her,
yeah,
and that's about it.
more than we expected. Anyway, torturous stuff now. Dragon Ball Evolution is coming up. But interestingly enough, like this is coming out Sunday the 3rd. At that point, because we wanted to watch the Magia Record Season 3. Likely we're not going to be able to watch it and edit it to come out the same day as this. So we're probably going to do it for next week as well and do a separate episode for the 4 episodes of Season 3 of Magia Record. Which hopefully at that point, you know, whatever streaming site we end up like watching it on, Crunchyroll or whatever, we'll have had time to get that out. It would be lovely to do that because, you know, we need something good to also off balance the Dragon Ball Evolution we're going to be watching. But if we don't, we will likely be seeing that in the next couple weeks. And commenting on that because, hey, it's the series finale, and they're basically doing a movie for it. They're doing 4 episodes. I don't know why they didn't just call it a movie. Everyone's going to call it a movie. But whatever. Yeah, so look forward to that. After Dragon Ball Evolution, because I just have to keep repeating these every time we do it, it's going to be 2013's Old Boy, 2014's Edge of Tomorrow, 2017's Ghost in the Shell, and then 2019's Alita Battle Angel, and then we'll wrap it all up with episode 150, where we talk about all of the live-action anime we've watched, and, you know, the varying degrees of... it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then from there, we'll move on to other stuff. Anything else to say before we go, you guys?
Nope.
All right. Come back for Dragon Ball Evolution next week. Or don't. I don't blame you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!